Herbert Norman Schwarzkopf Jr., born on August 22, 1934, in Trenton, New Jersey, and known as Stormin Norman, was a United States Army general who became a national hero for his leadership during the Gulf War of 1991. His life was shaped by a military upbringing, a distinguished career spanning nearly 4 decades, and a legacy defined by strategic brilliance, a fiery personality, and a deep commitment to duty, honor, and country. Below is a comprehensive account of his life, drawn from various sources, including his autobiography, It Doesn't Take a Hero, and other biographical materials. Early life and family background, 1934–1952. Norman Schwarzkopf Jr. was born into a family with a strong military tradition. His father, Herbert Norman Schwarzkopf Sr., was a West Point graduate, a World War I veteran, and the first superintendent of the New Jersey State Police, notably involved in the investigation of the Lindbergh kidnapping case. His mother, Ruth Alice Bowman, was a registered nurse distantly related to Thomas Jefferson. Norman grew up with 2 older sisters, Ruth Ann and Sally, in Lawrenceville, New Jersey, where his father's career in law enforcement and later military service profoundly influenced him. As a child, Schwarzkopf was deeply attached to his father, who narrated the popular radio program Gangbusters in the late 1930s. When Norman was 8, his father returned to active military duty during World War II, leaving the family for extended periods. This absence was challenging for his mother, who struggled with alcoholism, creating a difficult home environment. Despite this, young Norman developed a serious demeanor, aspiring to follow in his father's footsteps. At age 10, while attending Bordentown Military Institute, he posed for a photograph with a stern expression, later explaining, "Someday when I become a general, I want people to know that I'm serious." In 1946, at age 12, Schwarzkopf moved with his family to Tehran, Iran, where his father was assigned to help organize the Iranian police force. This experience sparked a lifelong fascination with Middle Eastern culture, as he learned to shoot, ride horses, and hunt in the Iranian desert. The family later moved to Geneva, Switzerland, in 1947, and then to Germany, where Norman attended schools in Frankfurt, 1948–49, and Heidelberg, 1949–50. These international experiences broadened his perspective and later proved invaluable during his Gulf War command. He returned to the United States in 1951, graduated from Valley Forge Military Academy in 1952 as valedictorian of his class of 150, and was accepted into the United States Military Academy at West Point. A member of Mensa with an alleged IQ of 168, Schwarzkopf excelled academically and was involved in football, wrestling, and the West Point Chapel Choir. Early military career and Vietnam War, 1956–1970s. Schwarzkopf graduated from West Point in 1956, commissioned as a second lieutenant in the U.S. Army. After initial training, he served in various assignments, including as an instructor at West Point. However, his early career was marked by disillusionment with the Army's bureaucracy, nearly prompting him to leave military service. His commitment to duty kept him in the ranks, and he was sent to Vietnam during the war, serving 2 tours that profoundly shaped his leadership philosophy. During his first Vietnam tour, 1965–66, Schwarzkopf served as an advisor to the South Vietnamese Army, earning respect for his courage under fire. His second tour, 1969–70, saw him as a battalion commander, where he was wounded twice, earning 2 Purple Hearts, 3 Silver Stars, and the Legion of Merit for his bravery and leadership. One notable incident involved Schwarzkopf personally rescuing soldiers from a minefield, an act of valor that earned him a Silver Star and reinforced his belief that true heroism lies in the actions of soldiers, not their commanders. He later reflected, "It doesn't take a hero to order men into battle. It takes a hero to be one of those men who goes into battle." Vietnam left Schwarzkopf disillusioned with the war's management and the public's indifference. Upon returning home, he was frustrated by the lack of interest in the conflict, noting, "No one wanted to know about Vietnam. I wanted to run through the streets yelling, 'Hey, in Vietnam people are dying.'" His experiences fueled his determination to reform military practices and prioritize soldier welfare. Rise through the ranks, 1970s–1980s. After Vietnam, Schwarzkopf rose steadily through the Army ranks, commanding units and honing his leadership skills. In 1983, he played a key role in the U.S. invasion of Grenada, commanding ground forces under an admiral's overall command. The operation, aimed at rescuing American students and countering a coup, showcased his ability to manage complex operations, though it also highlighted logistical challenges that he later addressed in his commands. By 1988, Schwarzkopf was promoted to 4-star general and appointed commander of U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, at MacDill Air Force Base, Florida. In this role, he developed contingency plans for potential conflicts in the Persian Gulf, drawing on his deep understanding of the region from his childhood in Iran. His strategic foresight and insistence on overwhelming force would prove critical in his most famous campaign, the Gulf War and Operation Desert Storm, 1990–1991. Schwarzkopf's defining moment came during the Gulf War, following Iraq's invasion of Kuwait in August 1990. As CENTCOM commander, he was tasked with leading Operation Desert Shield to protect Saudi Arabia from further Iraqi aggression. He assembled a coalition of over 750,000 troops from 28 countries, including 541,000 U.S. personnel, along with thousands of tanks, aircraft, and naval assets. His leadership was marked by meticulous planning, coalition diplomacy, and media savvy, earning him the nickname Stormin Norman for his fiery temper and commanding presence. When diplomatic efforts failed, Schwarzkopf launched Operation Desert Storm on January 17, 1991, with a 6-week air campaign that disrupted Iraqi communications, supply lines, and infrastructure. His strategic masterpiece was the left hook maneuver, a flanking operation that deceived Iraqi forces into expecting a direct assault from Saudi Arabia into Kuwait. Instead, coalition forces moved west into Iraq, then turned east to liberate Kuwait, encircling and defeating Iraqi troops in a 100-hour ground offensive from February 24 to February 28, 1991. The campaign resulted in minimal coalition casualties, 148 U.S. deaths, and liberated Kuwait, restoring national pride in the U.S. military after the Vietnam War's shadow. Schwarzkopf's handling of the coalition, which included Arab and Western nations, required deft diplomacy. He worked closely with figures like General Colin Powell, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and Saudi General Khalid bin Sultan Al Saud. His press briefings, broadcast globally, made him a household name, and his straightforward style earned him public admiration. He received numerous honors, including a knighthood from Queen Elizabeth II and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. However, Schwarzkopf faced criticism for a misstep when he inaccurately reported the destruction of Iraqi Scud missiles, which were later revealed to be Jordanian oil tankers. He acknowledged the error but maintained his focus on the campaign's overall success. Retirement and later life, 1991–2012. Schwarzkopf retired from the Army in August 1991, shortly after the Gulf War, and published his autobiography, It Doesn't Take a Hero, in 1992 with co-author Peter Petra. The book, a New York Times bestseller, detailed his life, military career, and the Gulf War, emphasizing his motto, duty, honor, country. It was praised for its candor and insights into leadership, with the Los Angeles Times calling it a fine and lucid book, teeming with vitality. In retirement, Schwarzkopf lived in Tampa, Florida, with his wife, Brenda, whom he married in 1968, and their 3 children. He became a military analyst for NBC, gave public lectures, and engaged in philanthropy, notably raising awareness for prostate cancer after his own diagnosis. He avoided politics, though he briefly endorsed George W. Bush in 2000. In 2003, he expressed skepticism about the Iraq War, criticizing the lack of a post-invasion plan and the deployment of inadequately trained reservists. Schwarzkopf's love for the outdoors, rooted in his childhood, continued in retirement. An avid hunter and sporting clays enthusiast, he had hunted everything from gazelles in Iran to Dall sheep in Alaska. His nickname, Bear, earned in Alaska for his burly build and occasional gruffness, reflected his larger-than-life persona. Personal life and character. Schwarzkopf was known for his complex personality, a hard-driving commander with a fiery temper, yet deeply compassionate and principled. His mentor, Gus Lee, described him as scary, brilliant, sensitive, and generous, with a knack for teaching leadership. Schwarzkopf's faith and sense of duty shaped his actions, and he prioritized soldier welfare, famously insisting, "Get the troops out of the hot sun," and "always be the last person in the chow line." He was a Freemason and a Shriner, like his father, and maintained close family ties. His wife Brenda and their 3 children were central to his life, and he celebrated milestones like his 75th birthday quietly with family in Tampa. Death and legacy. Schwarzkopf died on December 27, 2012, in Tampa, Florida, at age 78, due to complications from pneumonia. His passing was mourned by leaders like former President George H.W. Bush, who called him a true American patriot and one of the great military leaders of his generation. His legacy endures through his leadership in Operation Desert Storm, which restored U.S. military confidence post-Vietnam, and his emphasis on character-driven leadership. Schools, awards, and even a ski trail named Stormin Norman bear his name. Schwarzkopf's life story, as he wrote, was not about personal heroism but about the soldiers who served under him, embodying his belief that leadership is a potent combination of strategy and character. Key achievements and honors. Military decorations. 3 Silver Stars, 2 Purple Hearts, Legion of Merit, Vietnam, Presidential Medal of Freedom, Knighthood from Queen Elizabeth II, Gulf War. Educational achievements. Valedictorian at Valley Forge Military Academy, West Point graduate. Master's degree in missile engineering from the University of Southern California. Cultural impact. Restored U.S. military pride post-Vietnam. Authored a best-selling autobiography. Became a symbol of decisive leadership. Philanthropy. Advocated for prostate cancer awareness and supported veterans' causes. Schwarzkopf's life was a testament to resilience, strategic brilliance, and an unwavering commitment to his troops and nation. His story, from a military childhood to commanding one of the most successful campaigns in modern warfare, remains a powerful example of leadership under pressure.